In the grand archives of the Galactic Concord, humanity was listed with a single dismissive line: emotionally unstable, physically fragile, strategically irrelevant. That judgment had stood unchallenged for decades. To the Cathari, the insectoid cacticians of the southern rim, humans were impulsive. To the Varnathi, the crystalline diplomats of the inner rings, they were too loud, too warm, and too attached. And to the Volari, the empire of scale warriors, they were nothing more than brittle-boned, primitives barely worthy of attention. All. Of that change the day Commander Rain Carter stepped into the Inferno on my RITH-4. My RITH-4 was a mixed-species colony world lush, wild, and unpredictable. Its atmosphere shimmered with unstable ions, and volcanoes dotted its volcanic spine. When a tectonic rupture ignited a chain of underground gas pockets, firestorms roared across the settlement zones. Most species fled underground or evacuated. One child didn't make it. Sella, a 6-year-old Volari hatchling, had been separated from her group when the tremor struck. Trapped inside a partially collapsed habitat dome, flames closed in from all sides. Her chitinous skin resistant to heat gave her some protection, but not enough. She huddled beneath a fallen beam, eyes wide. Whispering the Volari war prayer for strength. Rescue drones detected movement but refused to enter. The flames exceeded safe tolerance levels. Non-human responders hesitated. Volari soldiers stood. Helpless no suit could survive that heat. No being could. Except. The human stepped forward. Commander Rain Carter of Earth Relief Corps had no genetic enhancements, no exosuit, no augmentations. Just a breathing mask, scorched boots, and a stubborn glint in his eyes. When the Volari guard barked, "You will burn, human," he simply replied, "Then I burn." And he walked into the fire. Alien spectators, emergency crews, and diplomatic envoys watched in stunned silence. No translator whispered. No protocol interrupted. Only the raw roar of flame and the shrinking silhouette of one man against it. Inside, Rain moved like memory, each step deliberate, pain flaring through his nerves, his uniform blackening. The air turned to knives in his lungs. But he followed. The child's whimpers, crawling beneath the wreckage, his arms blistering, his vision swimming. He found her. Covered in soot and trembling, the Volari child stared up at the creature that should not be standing. "You're human," she whispered. "Yeah," he coughed, voice cracked. "Let's get you home." With one arm, he lifted the beam. With the other, he cradled the child close. Then, inch by inch, he walked back through Hell. When they emerged. Rain, barely standing, clothes in tatters, skin burned and bleeding, the entire response force stood in stunned silence. The Volari general who once mocked human frailty bowed his massive head. He saved the hatchling. "Not even his own kind," one warrior murmured. The Varnathi envoy, watching through refractive vision, recorded every frame, whispering, "They feel pain like we do. Yet they choose it." For others, and the Cathari scribes for the first time struck a line through their cold report. Their new record read, "Humanity, capable of a logical sacrifice. Dangerous in ways we do not yet understand." Rain was unconscious for days. Medics worked tirelessly to regenerate tissue, replace skin, and keep his lungs from collapsing. He said little upon waking, only asked if the child was safe. Sella visited him days later, now clean and wrapped in ceremonial silks of thanks. She pressed a small Volari warrior's fang and heirloom to his palm. "You walk through fire," she said, eyes shining. "Even Volari legends do not tell stories like yours." He smiled through cracked lips. "Guess someone needs to. Write new ones." That moment became more than a rescue. It was a crack in the wall of prejudice. Across the galaxy, footage of the human who walked through fire spread like wildfire, ironic perhaps. But more importantly, it rewrote what others thought they knew. Humans were no longer seen as fragile. They were dangerous, yes, but not because of weapons or war, because they loved too hard. cared too deeply, and when pushed would burn themselves to save a stranger. From that day forward, humans were no longer called weak. They were called terrifying.